For more information regarding the local impact of the Bay Area wildfires here in Cupertino, please visit cupertino.org/2020fires.
Good morning, my name is Mark Brunton. I'm the Operations Section Chief for CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3, and we'll be going over the CZU Lightning Complex fire for today. So overall, we had really good success yesterday with our firefighting suppression efforts. The weather was really cooperating with us. We had really good skies so that we could fly our aircraft in. The weather and the temperatures and the relative humidity moderated to such that we could really jump in, get our crews to work, and have a really effective day of putting on our lines and suppressing fire. So just kind of going around the horn, starting in our north zone, up in Division Gulf and Kilo, a critical piece of line that we were able to establish, put in a few days ago. We're holding that line. Fire is slowly progressing down to that line, and we have crews patrolling that. We have it staffed very well, and that's a key piece because that keeps the fire from moving into the direction towards Santa Clara County. With that suppression efforts, we're looking really good, and we're very comfortable in that part of the fire. We're going to start seeing some winds that'll be coming from the west to the southwest, so that does put a push onto the fire in that portion. But with that control lines there and our comfort level, even with that push of the wind, we're feeling really confident up in that area. Moving down into the Echo area, we're continuing to put line in. The threat to the communities of Loma Mar, La Honda, Pescadero being mitigated every day by those lines being put in. Again, the fire is moving slowly down, progressing towards Loma Mar, but we have control lines. We have resources that are patrolling that area. Some of this we're allowing to burn, just simply for the fact that, again, with the limited resources, we do have some control lines in. We're monitoring status, but we're letting the fire get off of the more inhospitable terrain and something more favorable that we can work on. We're not really giving up much that way. There's no structure loss, no significant damage to the environment or anything of that nature. So we're letting the fire actually, in the long run, do a good thing for the health of the forest by letting it have that slow burn and burn down to our control lines. So, and let us work in an area that's more conducive to our operations and our strategy. So when you do see some of that fire backing, some of that is by design. Moving down the coast, looking really good. Some of the fires I've said before, self-mitigated, it's gone out in some of the light flashy fuels. Again, with that marine influence has really helped us out. Davenport area, community still looking really good. We're getting that control line improved daily. And again, the fire's kind of hung up there. We're coming up with some plans once we get some more resources to get in there and extinguish that so that we can get that community back on its feet. On the south, very comfortable with our control lines that we've put in, not only our primary control line that we've burned in, we monitored that. It's done a great job. Our secondary line is in play if needed. That southern part of the fire, although you're seeing some red here, we're constantly working on getting that tied in, and some of it is self-mitigated and extinguished. And once we get some more resources, we'll directly cut that out and put a direct control line on it. But we feel very comfortable that our primary and our secondary lines that we have in place are protecting the community of Santa Cruz and the UC campus, so that's looking really good. Highway 9 corridor, as we're into the community of Felton, we completed a line yesterday in a burnout operation that went around the community of Felton, put a nice control line up above that community, tied into Felton Empire Grade Road, which is a good control line. And so we're very comfortable and confident about that line. We're going to continue to monitor, continue to mop up, let some of that fire advance down to that control line by design of our strategy. And I'm feeling very comfortable with the protection of that community as we're sitting today. Up Felton Empire Grade Road, we're starting to see some of the effects of the fire damaged trees falling across, blocking some of that, but as it happens, it's a very important ingress and egress for our personnel, and so we're cleaning that up as it goes. Anybody that from our cooperators that have traveled along that road say, we see some fire creeping down. Again, by design, we're letting that kind of burn out. It's a non-factor to us. And in the overall picture of forest health, it's actually going to do a good thing, eliminate those unburned fuels that have been down and dead for a long time. And so for future potential fires, that'll help eliminate that for some years to come. Moving up the Highway 9 into Ben Lomond, south of Ben Lomond in the state park, We're doing a lot of work in there. Again, steep, treacherous terrain, not great to be fighting fire in, not really good for our overall strategy. So we're having to really change the way we're thinking, how we're doing our strategy, our plan overall, and it's continuing to give us some challenges, but we're able to put some line in, work the fire around certain areas, and that's going to be a constant effort for us. But we don't have any sort of fire situation that's going to get up and run and be a huge threat. It's, again, that creeping type fire scenario throughout. Moving up into the rest of the communities throughout the Highway 9, Ben Lomond, Boulder Creek, there's a lot of good efforts being done in there. Up above Boulder Creek, again, there's some visible flame, there's some visible smoke, but again, that is some by design, letting that fire back down off the ridge into more favorable terrain, into our control lines, so that we can mitigate that incident. So it will be visible, but right now we don't have any sort of substantial threat to those communities, and we're continuing to work. We're staffing that appropriately and have a presence up above those communities. Although within the community may not be seen, they are there, they are working, they're working hard. Bonnie Doon, again, continued challenge, lots of structures in there, a lot of heat still in some of the deep ravines and the drainages and so forth that we're starting to go after. Some of it we're letting burn out by design and monitoring that so that we don't put firefighters in harm's way into those deep, dangerous ravines, letting it burn into some more favorable territory and terrain that we can work on. Working around those structures still. We have a lot of resources up there, mop-up phase, so that we're taking care of those hot spots in and around those homes, and doing damage assessment. Our damage assessment teams are in there doing a lot of great work, accounting for those structures that have been destroyed or damaged. Today, our effort is huge into opening up the roadways so our crews can get deeper into the fire, our damage assessment teams can get deeper into that fire, and the utility companies starting to restore their infrastructure are able to get in and get deeper into so that we can get that rolling. We're concurrently getting the infrastructure folks. We have a full branch stood up that are planning that, working with the utility companies and the roadways and all that, so that simultaneously as we're suppressing and moving in a mop-up phase, that we're standing up those utilities and so forth, so that when we're ready to repopulate, that people can come in and they're with power, they're with their utilities, they have clear roads, and it's safe to do so. So we try to do a two-phased approach with that, and it's working very well, and we're starting that process, which is really good, because when we get into that process, that means that our fire danger is starting to decrease, because we won't put those people in there unless it's absolutely safe to do so. But there is still a lot of work regarding that. Aircraft, we're flying our aircraft. Yesterday we timed out our aircraft, which means that we flew them to the most that we can as far as the hours on that airframe per regulation. So they maxed out their hours that they could fly. 6 water dropping helicopters that we utilized for that. Tremendous job. They dropped over 200,000 gallons of water alone yesterday. Fixed wing aircraft, our air tankers, didn't need to fly those, we didn't have them available regardless. But at this point, the retardant dropping aircraft is not quite the right tool for the job of what we're dealing with regarding the fuels on the train. So the water dropping helicopters are our best tool for the job, and we're utilizing them to the fullest extent possible. As time goes on and we have a release of more resources from neighboring fires as they're winding down, we're getting more ground resources and we'll get more air resources. Once we get that and we receive them, they are going right to work on the line. We are being able to staff this 24/7, just as we had in the past, but now we're more robust with our resources, getting a lot more work done, having a lot of success with Mother Nature's help, and even moving forward with some more, I'd say, adverse weather that's more conducive to the fire being able to stand up a little bit or to be able to spot. We're prepared for that. We've got our contingency plans, our strategy we have in work, it takes that into consideration. So even if we do see a change in weather, things are looking really good. We're really happy with it. Our troops are just doing the best they possibly can, and we're having a lot of success. And I anticipate moving forward in the coming days, we're going to have a ton of success with this. And our whole emphasis is to get this knocked down, get people back in their homes when it's safe to do so. And that's our complete and #1 effort throughout this event. Thank you.
For more information regarding the local impact of the Bay Area wildfires here in Cupertino, please visit cupertino.org/2020fires.